When we were first assigned this project back in January, my group contemplated for a while which organization we were going to volunteer at. But after some time and thought, me and one of my partners, Maddie, decided that we should volunteer at Equest because we had both previously volunteered there. Equest is a riding facility where children and young adults with disabilities and learning differences can take therapeutic riding lessons and just get a chance to be around the horses. Since I had background information about volunteering there, I kind of knew what I was going to get out of volunteering, but I was just expecting to go in there, being able to help out in any way I can, and just hopefully see a difference that day of what I did, and just knowing being there that they may have not been able to do what we helped do that day if it weren't for volunteers like us going out there and helping, whether it's for community service or just to help volunteer, because Equest is purely based off of volunteering, and if it weren't for the volunteers, they wouldn't be able to do what they do. So I was just hoping that we could go out there and have a good time and help out in any way we can.
So when we first decided to volunteer at Equest, I already kind of knew what to expect because I've volunteered there before. But honestly, Equest is just such a great place for both the riders and the volunteers too. And it's amazing to see how these kids that can come in with physical disabilities or mental disabilities, and they're completely transformed by just the presence of an animal. When we were out there, I was watching one of the girls' lessons, and her mom was sitting right there, so I talked to her a little bit. And she was saying that Equest is it's really transformed her family. She felt her daughter used to feel like she was out of didn't have a thing to do of her own. She didn't have any hobbies because her brothers, I guess, were really into football and they were always doing that, and she didn't have anything to do. So when they found Equest, she said that her attitude changed. She was just happier in general, and she said it was really just incredible for her family. And she was also saying it was really interesting that these trainers, even though they have kids that are completely immobile, some of them can't even talk, they don't take it easy on them just because they have a disability. They actually are able to see through to the potential of their clients and actually work with them and have expectations for them. And I think that's what makes their organization what it is, because they're not taking pity on someone who has a disability. They're actually trying to work with it, and it really is an amazing organization.
I had not previously been to Equest. Going into Equest, I thought that it was just for kids with disabilities to ride horses. What I came to learn is that these horses help these kids so much more. Kids that had never been able to walk, or kids that had never talked before, these horses help these kids to open up and be more social with other people. It also helps kids that have never walked to feel what walking is really like. A horse's movement actually emulates a person's walk, so it helps them to really understand what walking is, and it helps them to build that muscle in places that they can't build muscle because they can't walk. The horses also help these kids to be more social, and they bond with horses, which helps the kids to build better relationships with people.
What do you personally gain from volunteering out here?
What do I personally gain? Just the knowledge of living, knowing that I've done something to help somebody else to make their lives better. That's the main thing.
What is your daily job out here? Or when you come out here, what do you do?
On a Saturday and a Sunday?
Yes, what is your role?
I'm responsible for all of the horses here. So right now we have 41 horses here. Mm-hmm. So I come out here, I show up about 5:30 in the morning. I start out by dropping hay for all the horses. Then I bring the horses in that are out in the field. Then I grain them all, feed them all. I'm responsible for their health. I'm responsible for their welfare. And also training volunteers that work in the barn. I do have one stable hand who works with me as well as a crew of volunteers. And I'm responsible to make sure that they're doing the job correctly and safely, and that they're happy doing it. If you're not happy, then we don't you know, we want you to be happy. If you're not happy doing it, then we need to find something you're happy doing.
How do the kids benefit from this?
The kids, as in our clients?
Yes.
Well, you know, the horse more closely emulates the human walk than any other natural activity you can participate in, okay? So if you can't walk, then you get to, the muscles are moving that you wouldn't be able to move on your own. In addition to that, imagine that you're bound by mechanical devices. When you get on the back of that horse, you're free to go. You leave all that behind.
If you haven't climbed up to Enchanted Rock, drink a cold shiner down in Luckenbach, taking your baby to the river walk, then you ain't met my Texas yet. If you haven't floated down the El Frio, heard red dirt music on your radio, eating Coopers down in Llano.
Flowers off highways, seen the sun rising over the pines, and with pride I can say I love this state of mine. I've walked the beaches of Corpus, I breathe in the hill country air, but when her cheeks start to